It grows 10 feet in a single year. Every part of it is edible. The leaves, the seeds, the flowers, the roots, even the bark. It survives drought that kills other crops. It thrives in soil so poor that nothing else will grow. It purifies dirty water in hours. It feeds families for generations from a single planting. And gram for gram, its leaves contain more protein than eggs, more calcium than milk, more iron than spinach, more potassium than bananas, and more vitamin C than oranges. Scientists call it the most nutritious plant ever discovered. The World Health Organization calls it a solution to global malnutrition. Ancient cultures called it the miracle tree. So why does your government call it invasive? This is the story of moringa, the tree that does everything, the plant that threatens no ecosystem but terrifies an industry, and the quiet campaign to keep you from ever planting one in your backyard. Welcome to Nature Hidden Vault. Before we understand why they fear this tree, we need to understand what it actually is. Moringa oleifera is a fast-growing tree native to the foothills of the Himalayas in northern India. It has been cultivated for thousands of years across South Asia, Africa, and the Middle East. The tree is slender, with delicate feathery leaves and long seed pods that hang like drumsticks. This is why it is sometimes called the drumstick tree. But its appearance is deceiving. Behind that fragile look is one of the most resilient plants on Earth. Moringa can grow in sandy soil, clay soil, acidic soil, and alkaline soil. It tolerates drought conditions that would kill most crops. It survives temperatures from near freezing to extreme heat. And it grows fast, incredibly fast. In ideal conditions, a moringa tree can grow over 10 feet in its first year. Some varieties grow even faster. Within 3 years, a single tree can reach 30 feet or more. This speed is not just impressive, it is useful. Fast growth means fast harvests. A moringa tree can be harvested multiple times per year, every year, for decades. One planting becomes a permanent food source. And what a food source it is. The nutritional profile of moringa leaves is almost impossible to believe. Moringa contains all 9 essential amino acids. This makes it a complete protein, something extremely rare in the plant world. Gram for gram, dried moringa leaves contain roughly twice the protein of yogurt, 4 times the calcium of milk, 3 times the potassium of bananas, 4 times the vitamin A of carrots, and 7 times the vitamin C of oranges. They also contain significant amounts of iron, magnesium, zinc, and B vitamins. No single plant comes close to this nutritional density. This is not marketing. This is not exaggeration. These numbers have been verified by laboratories around the world. The United States Department of Agriculture has published nutritional data confirming moringa's exceptional composition. And yet, most people in wealthy nations have never heard of it. The leaves are only the beginning. Moringa seeds contain oil that is remarkably similar to olive oil. It is stable, nutritious, and has been used for cooking and cosmetics for centuries. Ancient Egyptians placed moringa oil in their tombs. Romans traded it across the Mediterranean. The seed pods, when young, can be cooked and eaten like green beans. They are a staple vegetable in South Asian cuisine, appearing in curries and stews. The flowers are edible too, with a mild mushroom-like flavor. They can be cooked or used to make tea. Even the roots are consumed in some cultures, though they must be prepared carefully due to certain compounds that can be strong in large amounts. The bark, the sap, the gum from the tree have all been used traditionally for various purposes. There is no waste with moringa. Every part serves a function. But perhaps the most remarkable property of this tree has nothing to do with food. Moringa seeds can purify water. This is not folklore. This is documented science. The seeds contain proteins that act as natural coagulants. When crushed and added to dirty water, these proteins bind to sediment, bacteria, and other impurities, causing them to clump together and sink to the bottom. Studies have shown that moringa seed treatment can remove up to 99% of bacteria from contaminated water. It can reduce turbidity, the cloudiness caused by suspended particles, by over 90%. In regions without access to clean water or chemical treatment facilities, moringa seeds offer a simple, natural, and locally sustainable solution. A tree that feeds you and purifies your water. A tree that grows anywhere. A tree that costs almost nothing once established. This should be planted on every corner of the developing world, and in many places it is. Moringa is grown extensively across Africa, Southeast Asia, Central America, and the Caribbean. It is a lifeline for millions of people who depend on it for nutrition and clean water. But in wealthy nations, something strange happened. Moringa was labeled invasive. In several states across the American South, moringa appears on watch lists for invasive species. Homeowners are discouraged from planting it. Agricultural extensions warn against its spread. The logic seems sound on the surface. Moringa grows fast. It produces abundant seeds. It could theoretically spread beyond where it is planted. But here is what they do not tell you. Moringa is a tropical tree. It cannot survive hard freezes. In most of the continental United States, moringa dies back to the ground at the first frost. In northern states, it cannot survive winter at all. The idea that moringa could become an invasive pest in temperate climates is scientifically questionable. It is not like kudzu, which spreads aggressively through runners and roots. Moringa spreads only by seed, and those seeds require specific conditions to germinate. Florida, Texas, and other warm states, moringa can survive year-round. But even there, it shows none of the aggressive colonizing behavior of true invasive species. So why the warning labels? The answer lies in what moringa threatens. Moringa is not a threat to ecosystems, it is a threat to systems. A tree that provides complete nutrition, grows without expensive inputs, purifies water naturally, and produces harvests for decades from a single planting cannot be controlled by conventional agriculture. You cannot patent moringa. It has been cultivated for thousands of years. The genetics are public domain. You cannot create dependency with moringa. Once someone plants a tree, they do not need to buy seeds again. They do not need fertilizers. They do not need pesticides. They do not need irrigation systems in most climates. Moringa creates independence. And independence is not profitable. The global nutritional supplement industry is worth over $150 billion annually. The bottled water industry is worth over $300 billion. The fertilizer industry is worth over $200 billion. Moringa threatens all of them simultaneously. A single tree, planted once, providing nutrition, water purification, and soil improvement for a lifetime. This is not a product. This is a solution. And solutions do not generate recurring revenue. The campaign against moringa has been subtle. No one banned it outright. No government declared it illegal to grow. That would be too obvious. Instead, they used regulation, classification, bureaucratic discouragement. By placing moringa on invasive species watch lists, authorities create hesitation. Nurseries become reluctant to stock it. Garden centers avoid carrying it. Homeowners fear planting something labeled as a potential problem. The result is not prohibition. It is obscurity. Most Americans have never seen a moringa tree. They have never tasted the leaves. They have never experienced what millions of people in the developing world take for granted. The tree that could grow in their backyard, providing fresh nutrition year after year, remains invisible. And the supplements, the bottled water, and the expensive organic produce continue to fill shopping carts. But the truth is spreading. In recent years, moringa has gained attention in health food circles. Moringa powder has become available in some stores. Moringa tea has appeared on shelves. This is progress, but it is also a familiar pattern. Just like elderberry, just like so many other powerful plants, the industry has found a way to commodify moringa without empowering consumers. Moringa powder costs $15 to $30 per pound in most health food stores. Meanwhile, a single moringa tree produces several pounds of leaves per harvest, multiple harvests per year, for decades. The economics are clear. A $20 tree can replace thousands of dollars in supplements over its lifetime. But only if you know to plant one. Growing moringa is remarkably simple. In warm climates, zones 9 and above, moringa can be grown as a perennial tree. It will survive winter and continue producing year after year. In cooler climates, moringa can be grown as an annual. Plant it after the last frost, harvest leaves throughout the summer and fall, and let it die back in winter. The nutrition you harvest in one season is still extraordinary. Moringa can also be grown in large containers and brought indoors during cold months. The tree tolerates pruning well and can be kept at manageable heights. Seeds are inexpensive and widely available despite the discouragement. Cuttings root easily in water or soil. The tree prefers well-drained soil but tolerates poor conditions. It prefers full sun but survives partial shade. It prefers regular water but survives drought. In short, moringa wants to grow. It wants to feed you. You simply have to let it. The leaves can be eaten fresh, like spinach or lettuce. They have a mild, slightly peppery flavor that works well in salads, soups, and stir-fries. They can be dried and ground into powder that keeps for months. This powder can be added to smoothies, sprinkled on food, or mixed into recipes. The young seed pods can be cooked and eaten whole. The mature seeds can be roasted and eaten like nuts, or pressed for oil, or used for water purification. The flowers can be battered and fried, added to salads, or steeped as tea. There is no complicated preparation required. No special equipment, no extensive processing. Just grow, harvest, and eat. The ancient cultures that first cultivated moringa understood something we have forgotten. True food security does not come from supermarkets. It does not come from supply chains that span continents. It does not come from systems that can be disrupted by weather, economics, or politics. True food security comes from your own land, your own trees, your own knowledge of how to grow and prepare what you need. Moringa represents this old wisdom. A single tree that asks for almost nothing and gives almost everything. For thousands of years, families have planted moringa outside their homes. They have harvested its leaves through hard times and good times. They have passed the trees down through generations. This was never remarkable to them. It was simply how people lived. Only in our modern world, where food comes wrapped in plastic and nutrition comes in capsules, does moringa seem miraculous. It is not miraculous. It is natural. It is normal. It is the way things should be. Remember what they tried to make you forget. Moringa is not invasive. It is generous. It grows fast because it wants to feed you quickly. It grows everywhere because it wants to feed everyone. It asks for nothing because some gifts are meant to be free. The labels they put on it say more about the system than about the tree. Invasive species threaten ecosystems. Moringa threatens quarterly earnings. Invasive species displace native plants. Moringa displaces expensive products. Invasive species spread uncontrollably. Moringa spreads self-sufficiency, and that is what they truly fear. So plant a moringa tree. If you live in a warm climate, plant it in your yard and watch it grow. Within months, you will have fresh leaves. Within years, you will have a permanent food source. If you live in a cold climate, grow it in a pot. Bring it inside for winter. Harvest what you can during the growing season. Start small. Learn the tree. Taste the leaves. Experience what millions of people have known for thousands of years. And when someone asks you why you are growing an invasive species, smile and tell them the truth. You are growing independence. You are growing nutrition. You are growing something that cannot be bought, sold, or controlled. You are growing a moringa tree. Moringa oleifera, the drumstick tree, the miracle tree, the tree that does everything they said was impossible. It was never patented. It was never profitable for the right people. And so it was never promoted, but it never stopped growing. And now you know. This is Nature Hidden Vault. If this story changed how you see the trees around you, subscribe. More forgotten knowledge is waiting. The vault is open.